the next story we're going to get into, why good men sometimes just give up. This is I posted on Twitter about Tom Brady. Something that's important to remember that a lot of people, I think women, maybe younger people don't understand this, but I think as you age a little bit, if you're a man, you realize something is true. That in many cases, you need something that is going to be fulfilling and important in your life. And if you don't have that, life quickly becomes meaningless. You look at the young men or even the older guys that get into drinking, or they're into illicit substances, or they decide to self-delete. And again, I'm not saying Tom's going to self-delete or anything, but they've lost focus. They've lost meaning in their lives. Everything has fallen apart for them. And either they don't have the energy or the willpower or the desire to start back over again and get going. And so they self-delete. And then you look at the young people, the 27 Club, I think they call it. All the young people that get fame and power, and they're wanted and desired, and they're popular, and they can have all their dreams and desires met, and they end up getting into substances and accidentally offing themselves at 27. Thus the 27 Club. And so there is something to the meaning of life more than, oh, I have a lot of money, or I got a hot wife, or men have to specifically find something meaningful in their lives. Well, if Tom Brady decides to try to find that meaningful thing, and he loses his wife and maybe even a portion of his children due to it, if that happens to him, what chance do we as kind of everyday average guys have? Tom Brady is 6'4". He's actually a model. He's appeared in commercials. He's athletic. He's very rich and successful. And even Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, his ex, basically said, you need to quit playing football and be a stay-at-home dad. And I think Tom Brady at the time said, I've only got a couple years left. Like, I'm almost aged out. I'm almost too old for the game. But I want to feel important. I want my life to be meaningful. And yes, the wife and the kids are meaningful, but finishing my career and going out on a high and doing the best that I can and leaving the game where I want to leave it, that's important to me too. And I think she gave him, in some ways, an ultimatum. And he chose to play another season or two just to wrap things up, and she left him. And she didn't, everybody's saying, oh, she's divorced now. Here's the story that I'm going to be talking about here. Guys, I've partnered with Geology to bring you the sponsored video. Committing to better skin does not have to be difficult. And that's where Geology comes in. They have personalized routines designed for you to get you the results you want to see with award-winning skin, hair, and body products powered by facts, not fads. Geology creates simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customized just for you with ingredients that have been trusted by dermatologists for decades. It helps you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, combat dark or puffy under eyes, have smoother hydrated skin, and target signs of aging. They have everything to meet your needs, from skincare to hair care, even deodorants. You click the link provided, you take a 60-second diagnostic quiz, and with a few clicks, tell them about your skin needs and your long-term goals. And their team of dermatologists will design a personalized routine just for you that is shipped directly to your door. It's that simple. So what are you waiting for? Use my link and code in the description box and pinned comment and grab 70% off your personalized skincare trial set. Remember, there's also that 50% off of add-ons waiting for you. The link's down below, so go down and check out Geology today. Your skin will thank you. Bikini-clad Gisele Bündchen bears a baby bump on beachy Christmas vacation with boyfriend Joaquin Valente. So Gisele Bündchen is 44 years old. It's Tom Brady's ex-wife. He had a family with her. Things fell apart. She filed for divorce, and she pretty much left him. And a lot of the comments were saying, yeah, but she wanted him to quit and be a stay-at-home father. And, well, his kids are teenagers. He doesn't need to be there to tend to the children. He's got just a couple years left, and I understand why he said, let me finish this is my life's work. This is my life's passion. Let me just finish what I started. It's another year or two. And she said, no, that's not good enough. At the time, she was taking their son to, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach. And then she started taking lessons from this coach. And while there's no proof that she was cheating on Tom with this guy, the minute that that she files for divorce, she starts dating this guy. You know, women always have back burner guys. Before they make big moves in their lives, they have a back burner man. That's why I believe she was cheating on him. That's why I believe she was already probably sleeping with this guy, saying it was over, because women never just miraculously like, oh, I'm going to leave you and risk myself in the wild without somebody else already on the hook. And here, just a short period of time after their divorce, she's with her new man, the former coach that she was with, and she's pregnant. And I posted, if 6'4" former model and GOAT football player Tom Brady, worth hundreds of millions, and yes, I know she's worth hundreds of millions as well, but the point is, he's 6'4". They always want tall guys. He's good looking. He's a former model. They want athletes. He's one of the greatest football players that ever had. They want money. He's worth hundreds of millions. And if that didn't stop her from dating a jiu-jitsu coach and leaving you for a jiu-jitsu coach because you want to chase the last couple years of your passions and your life, it doesn't stop her from starting a new family without you. Doesn't that give you a feeling that, like, what chance do I have then? And you choose better women. And they've been together 20 years or 15 years or whatever it is. You're going to tell me you can choose a woman today and she's not going to change in the next 15 years? Don't give me that. You're going to tell me, you need to get married to have a family because who's going to be around your deathbed during your final moments? Well, for Tom, it's not going to be Giselle and maybe the kids at this point. This is why so many men just say, I can't do this anymore, man. Bikini-clad Giselle Bundchen bears a baby bump on beachy Christmas vacation with her boyfriend Joaquin Volante. Brazilian supermodel, 44, wore a skimpy bikini. Obviously, she's with kid. This isn't the first Costa Rica vacation for the lovebirds who were expecting their first child together. They were spotted strolling on a sand in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica on Thanksgiving Day. Well, apparently this jiu-jitsu coach has quit teaching jiu-jitsu, and now he's basically vacationing with Giselle Bundchen's money on because you're not going to be rich. You're not flying to Costa Rica doing week-long vacations on jiu-jitsu instructor money. And she's worth, I think, $400 million. So I have no doubts that she's paying for these vacations. I think they even say in this story that that he quit his job. But do you know what's salt in the wound? Like just adding salt in the wound? The Central American country appears to be one beloved by Bundchen, as it's where she and her ex-husband Tom Brady had their second wedding ceremony. Imagine you're Tom Brady. You wanted the last couple of years to play football. Your wife tells you, I'm out. She hooks up with your jiu-jitsu coach. So now you're wondering, like, has she been banging him the whole time? And then where do they decide to go on vacation? Where you had your second wedding anniversary or your second wedding ceremony. She went to vacation where you and she got married. That's like salt in the wound. But hey, you remember where we had our second wedding ceremony? Yeah, I'm taking my new boyfriend there after he knocked me up. Like, does it get? I mean, it does get worse. Like, you could find out a kid's not yours, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like salt in the wound. I just find this so, and she doesn't care. Oh, well, it might bother Tom a little bit, but who cares? I like the area. They share two kids, Benjamin, 14, and Vivian, 11. And off they go. They say Bundchen and Volante met when her son Benjamin began taking jiu-jitsu lessons with a martial arts instructor at his academy. And then she said, I think at some point she started taking lessons too, because I remember seeing a photo of the two of them on a mat, and I said, oh, yeah, she's getting boned by that guy. Well, anyway, Tom Brady says, Tom Brady's lonely amid ex-Giselle's pregnancy. He's regretted not doing more to save the marriage. And this, it's so blue pill of Tom to say this. At least in my mind, it's blue pill of Tom to say this. This is from just a couple days ago. He wishes he did more to save the marriage. He didn't cheat. He didn't leave. He hasn't married somebody else or knocking other people up. He's by himself now. He's the product of this. And this this story just reminds me of so many of you guys, the letters and the stuff that I hear from you guys where you say, oh man, you know what? It happened to me. It happened to me. I was good to her, but I was working a lot and she fell in the arms of another dude because he was around more. Or it was, I was around and I was doing things for her all the time, but she left me for a guy with money. Or I tried to do X and I paid off all her loans, or that's what Tom sounds like to me. She left him. She divorced him. She fell into the arms of another man. She's starting a new family. She's rubbing salt into his wounds by going to where you were celebrating your second marriage or your second ceremony. She goes there with vacation on the dude. And he's like, all I wanted to do is finish a couple of years of my career and figure out what I'm going to do next in life. And she said, not good enough. I'm leaving. And now he's alone. And don't get me wrong, it's kind of hard to feel bad for a guy that's 6'4", 47, good looking, tall, millions of dollars, just bought partial ownership of a football team. I know a lot of you guys are like, I'm not, how am I going to feel bad for that guy? I get that. I do get that. But there's part of you that does have to wonder, like, I know where he is. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you're in a bad enough place and you're unhappy and life sucks and a woman puts a hole the size of a train tunnel in your heart, the money doesn't matter. Your friends don't matter. Job doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Everything ahead of you is a black hole. And the reason why is because when you're with somebody, at least as a man, and I think you guys that have been in love and really, really loved somebody, right? Obsessively love somebody, like they're awesome and you love them and you're so excited to spend the rest of your life together, and then they pull the plug. That hole is a black hole. It sucks everything into it. You hear a song that reminds you about, you're in a good mood. You hear a song that you used to listen to with her. Oh, you're grocery shopping and you see a brand of something she liked. Oh, you're driving to work and I don't know, a TV show, ad for a TV show, or a restaurant you used to go to together, and you just glance at it in the corner of your eye. Oh, life just goes. And it's not that maybe she was the most brilliant thing in the world for you. It was that you committed. You said, we're going to do this. I'm committed. I'm 100%. I'm all in. Let's do this. And you see your life together as the two of you together. She is by my side. We're going to do this together. Any problems, I've got a partner in life. They got my back. I got theirs. And that's how blue pillars think. And it's a beautiful way to look at the world. I'm not going to lie. Why do so many people kind of slip into the blue pill? Because it's great when it works. It's beautiful when it works until it doesn't. And too many times today, it doesn't. It doesn't work. And then all of a sudden you find yourself back in that, I gave up this, or I threw away that, or I distanced myself from friends because she wanted to spend more time, or I changed jobs, or we moved to a new city to help her, and you realize you got off your track as a man to kind of try to make things work with her. And then when she releases you, it kind of reminds me of inertia in space. Now, I know most of you, if not all of you, know this, but this is the way I look at it. Is if you're traveling in a direction with thrusters but you're weightless and you're in the void of space, when you have thrusters, you can maneuver because you're expelling gases and pushing yourself in another direction. But when something like this happens to you, it's like you have thrusters and you're going in one direction and then all your thrusters are gone. They just disappear and you're like, oh crap, I don't have a way to change direction. It's inertia. There's nothing to stop me. I'm just drifting. And I have no way to stop where I'm going. I don't have any thrusters. I gave them all up. I gave them to her. I gave half my thrusters to her. I gave half the thrusters to the kids. Maybe I gave a couple of thrusters to my work. I'm out of thrusters. I got fired by the job and she left me and took the kids. I'm out of thrusters. I'm adrift. That is the most frightening feeling for a man. Because now you say, I don't know where I'm going. I got nothing left. Everything's in chaos. I'm drifting. And I think even if you have the millions and you're tall and you're good luck, if you've had that black hole in the middle of you, there's nothing that can save you from that except yourself. Eventually, you have to figure out what you're going to do and you can save yourself from that. But a lot of guys don't, and they end up drifting into that black hole. I've got a story about a guy that drifted into a black hole. And I see too many men going down that road. So I think, when we say red pill, it's been such a misused, screwed up word now. When we're talking about red pill, what we're talking about is I'm not going to give up my thrusters, right? I'm in fully control of my thrusters. I'm not going to let you take any of them. If you want to latch on to me and ride while I go in the direction I'm going with my thrusters, you're welcome to come along. So you can be a little pilot. You can get back in the cockpit back there and you can ride along. But I maintain control of the thrusters at all times. And then when she screws up, you just feep and fling her into space. Hey, be gone. And you don't give up your thrusters. Tom Brady gave up the thrusters. A lot of men, I've given up thrusters in the relationship. And then you feel like I'm lost. And I can't get back what I need to get back. I can't get back to my job. I can't get back to my friends because they've moved on, or I can't get back. I'm just lost. So if you were to sum up what kind of going your own way, and maybe red pill if you want to call it that, or being a man in today's world means, it means never giving up your thrusters, never giving up control, never giving up your direction, your path, your life for somebody else. Because too many times you give up that control, you give up those thrusters, you lend them out, they use them, and then they take them. And you're left rudderless. And it's really one of the most frightening places. Because here you have Tom Brady, and I'm going to read down this. It's like a 1-minute read. It's a tiny little story. But this is a concept that I have felt before, and you've emailed me before saying, I had that feeling. I still have that feeling. How do I stop feeling this feeling? And it's because we gave up that control. And here you got Tom Brady, who's got all anybody would trade places with Tom Brady. He's 5 years younger than me. He's 6'4", good looking, athletic. I am literally the exact opposite of Tom Brady. If you could say, what is the opposite of Tom Brady? You would say, well, it's that short, fat, bald, ugly motherfucker named Joker. That's what you'd say. Would I trade places with him? Not really. No, I actually like my life. But ironically, if you were to say, well, the opposite of me is him, would I trade places with him right now? No way, because I know that black hole. And I know what that's like, and he blames himself for it. And that's the saddest part. He did everything right. He chased his last couple of years of career. He tried to balance the family. He tried to be all the things for everybody. And now he's out of football. He just purchased part of a team, so he's not desolate. I don't feel that bad for the guy. But his passion of playing football is over. His wife left him for another man. The kids supposedly like this other guy. And you're alone. And you just spent the holidays watching your ex enjoying vacation with a new man pregnant while you're chuffed off alone. They say Tom Brady isn't exactly feeling the holiday spirit this year. Back in October, news broke that his ex-wife, Gisele Bündchen, is expecting a baby with her boyfriend, Joaquim Valente. A month later, the pregnant supermodel 44 showed off a growing bump, again, etc. A friend says Tom wants to be happy for Gisele, but he can't quite do that. It's still a shock that she's having a child with somebody else. He hasn't gotten used to the idea, though his children seem to be excited about it, and that doesn't help. Since their 2022 split, Tom has been romantically linked to Kim Kardashian. Not really. They were seen at an event together. Brooks Nader, Irina Shayk, again, but I think those were just like very casual, seen at events together and or, posted on each other's social media. I don't think there's been too much as far as him actually dating. But he finds himself single this Christmas. The truth is, Tom is lonely. There have been times he regretted not doing more to save his marriage, and now that she's got a baby on the way, Gisele has well and truly moved on. Perhaps it's time he did too. Tom's friends are telling him he needs to get out there and hope to find somebody new. Hopefully the new year will spur him on. I know where Tom is. I think I've been where Tom is. Most of you, if not all of you that watch my content are like, yep, I've been where Tom is. So this is one of the reasons why, as many of you know, I just mentioned, like I wasn't live streaming personally for 36 hours, but Christmas Eve and throughout Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I fired up I think we played 20 Christmas movies. And I was present for a lot of the stream, and I was reading chat even if I wasn't on camera, and I hung out for a lot of it. And it wasn't for supporters only. It was for members, anybody that wanted to show up. And last night I did the same thing with the Lord of the Ring 3 movies, the extended cuts that are like 12 hours for those 3 movies. And I did it from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The reason why I do that, and the reason why I do it for anybody that wants to show up, I was Tom Brady once. Many of you were Tom Brady once, where it's Christmas, you don't have the kids, the girlfriend left, broke up with you, cheated, the wife left, maybe somebody passed away, and you're alone. The holidays, where everybody's spending time with family, and you see commercials about being with people, and you're sitting there by yourself eating a cold can of SpaghettiOs while, I don't know, watching YouTube videos, and you're like, oof, I'm without some thrusters here, brother. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so that's why I do what I do with these streams and stuff. And it's funny because even I feel like right now I feel a little blurry-eyed because I remember those times. They're hard times. And I never want a man to go through that. So when I hear this story about Tom, it makes me think like, oof, I've been there, you've been there. Let's have a talk about this to understand this is why I think so many people attack red pill community and guys go in their own way. It's not that we hate women. It's not that we don't like to date women. It's not that we're assholes. Some of us can be, yeah, sure. But the truth of it is men get irreparably damaged sometimes by giving up so much of themselves to try to make the ones around them happy, that when that goes away, that black hole can sometimes, there's no coming back from it. And I'm going to leave it with this story that I have. Let me see if I can find it. The 2 stories. Let me wrap it up with these 2 stories. This is from the Gateway Pundit. Horror. A Georgia judge ends himself inside his own courtroom. This is December 31st, the new year. 74-year-old judge. Now, again, it's not about the gentleman. It's about his story. He self-deleted in a county courtroom. He's 74 years old and he deleted. It was his final day on the bench, basically. He lost a re-election bid as a judge. So he's out as a judge. He had been a lawyer for 45 years. So all he had left was being a judge after being a lawyer and a judge. He tried to quit, but Governor Kemp refused to accept his resignation. Last year, his wife and he got a divorce. You know, she had a side business. The side business was a failed daycare business. That's not him. That's a wife, a lawyer's wife, a judge's wife that's bored. He took all his money to try to save his wife's business. It failed, which left him broke. And then she left him. And then he had to file bankruptcy. He used his life savings to keep the daycare open. And here's a guy, 74 years old, that has no wife. The kids left. His job's gone. He's kind of retired. He has to be retired now. So how are you going to make money at 74 years old when you're broke because you put it all into your wife's business and she left you? Here's a guy that all he had left was black hole after black hole after black hole. No money, no wife, no kids, no job, 74 years old. He's gone. What did he do wrong? Well, he gave up too much for the wife's business. He ruined himself, and then she left him. These are the risks that men traditionally would have taken for a wife. My father would have done that for my mom. I don't know if my grandfather would have done it with my grandmother. He probably would have just said, quit your silly nonsense and get back into the kitchen, if we're being honest. But my uncle would have done it for my aunt. My dad wouldn't have done it for my mom. But the difference is, I know my mom wouldn't have left my dad. They were together until my father passed away. I know my uncle and aunt wouldn't have left each other. I know this because they were together for, 50 years until my aunt passed away. My grandparents, well, they were together for 65 years and until my grandmother passed away. And then my grandfather passed away shortly behind. But he wouldn't have told her to do a side hustle. He would have said, shut up, vacuum the floor, and get in the kitchen. That's the generation difference. But the point is, he gave away everything, and he ended up with nothing, and the black hole swallowed him. The black hole's not going to swallow Tom. Tom's going to be okay. But this is what happens when you end up without thrusters, and you're adrift, and your life becomes black holes. And I just mentioned this to you because I want you guys to understand my perception of relationships. And I think you do from watching me for a while. But I maybe this will help you in your thought process when it comes to dating. If you date, there's nothing wrong with dating. I've never been against dating. I'm not against women. Never have been. I think it's great if you decide to hang out, but understand you've got to maintain all the thrusters. It's got to be your ship or the highway. Like it's got to be my way or the highway. You can make some concessions. You can give passenger seats to people. You can allow them even to dock with your ship. You know what I mean? You can invite them into your life, but you never give away your thrusters. You never give away your control. You never alter your destination path to veer off for somebody else. And that means you don't veer off path for a woman. You don't veer off path. You can a little bit for your kids. I make an exception there. Children are different. Children need you to be there for them. But you don't veer off path for your job. You don't veer off path for your family. You stay on your path because they may drop you. They may leave you in space, hurtling off towards a black hole like this poor judge, and you got no way to save yourself. And that's why you maintain control. A healthy man, a red pill man, a guy going his own way, a man that's in control of his life, the one thing he doesn't do is lose control. You don't lose control to the government. You don't lose control to a woman. You don't lose control to anybody but yourself. That's the way I look at going your own way. And if you have people coming along with you, great, as long as you're going your direction. Don't let anybody pull you off that. Because Tom paid for it. This poor judge, he paid for it. This guy, he found the black hole. He found the black hole, but I think he's going to escape. There's maybe a little escape velocity here. My wife-to-be, in other words, his fiance, my wife-to-be asked for a hall pass to sleep with other men before our wedding. Do I end the engagement? This question right here, do you see that? If we just say my wife asked for a hall pass to sleep with other men before our wedding, the follow-up to that is, so I disconnected from her and set her adrift, and then I kept on my life's path. I kept all my thrusters, and I kept on my life's path. This last sentence tells me he gave away too many thrusters. He gave away too much control. He gave away up too much of his life because now he's scared to lose her. With the statement, do I end the engagement? This is not a question. I mean, he's asking the question. We know the answer. Of course you end the engagement. You break it off with her. Because either now or later it's going to happen to you, brother. But this is why so many men get in that place of, I did all these things for her and she still hurt me. She still cheated. She still left me. She still destroyed me. How does that happen? Because you gave up control. You gave too much to her, and now you're afraid to operate without her. She's got too much of the control of your life. That's blue pill. Red pill man keeps all the control for himself. And if a woman says, I would like a hall pass, I can tell you what 99.9% of you guys out there that have the same thought process that I have, this is how that would go. I'd like a hall pass, kind of hook up with a couple of guys before a wedding. Is that cool with you? Yeah, go for it. I am completely down. Let me know how it is. And then when she leaves the house or the apartment or whatever, you calmly pack your stuff. You remove your name off of as many accounts and everything as you can. You throw it in a vehicle. You block all contact with her in any way, shape, and or form. You notify your family what she just did so they know, so she can't gaslight them. And then you take your thrusters and you head off towards your direction, your new direction. The end. That's it. There's no more discussion. There's not an argument anymore. There's not, what made you feel like you should do this? Did I fail as a man? Is that why you want to be with other men? It's all unnecessary. 100%. You're just wasting hot air. It doesn't matter. There's no fixing, oh, I should have done something better. No, don't be like Tom. Don't be like Tom Brady. It's over. And this is the point I want to drill home for every man out there, for the vast majority of you. Yes, maybe you did some stupid shit. Men do stupid things all the time. Women do stupid things all the time. But you have a conversation about it when it's occurring, right? If she says, I need this from you in the bedroom, you say, okay, let's figure out how that's going to happen. If she says, I find it attractive when you do this, and I find it unattractive when you do this, then you make the adjustment, or you say, I'm not adjusting, go away, right? I mean, it's pretty simple. If you were to say to a woman, I don't like fat girls, and she's skinny when you're dating her, and then she starts to gain a few pounds, this is a big one for men, and you say, I like you slimmer, would you please monitor your diet a little bit and lose a little weight? I still find you beautiful, I still find you attractive, but we're headed in the wrong direction here, and I don't want this to become a thing where I'm unattracted to you. Then she has a choice. She chooses you or she chooses food. If she keeps gaining weight, you have your answer. There doesn't need to be another conversation about it. There doesn't need to be another argument about it. You go to her and you say, just so you know, I'm breaking up with you. I've lost attraction to you. I warned you about this multiple times. You've gained too much weight. I'm not attracted to you anymore. I'm leaving. Now, she can call you all the names in the books, and she can say you should love me for what? Nope, you gave her the warning, and she chose food over you. This is how you need to think of relationships and think of same thing with friendships, same thing with family. Because if a woman said to you, I need this from you, and you don't provide it, when she leaves, it was, I warned you. If you do the same thing to a woman, and then you decide to leave, it's how dare you, right? That's always the difference.
How dare you?
It's how dare you. So either way, it's your fault. This is maintaining locus, maintaining internal control. And that's, I suppose that's really what this video is about, is you see so many of these guys and you go, oh, you gave up everything, man, and you ruined yourself. And here he is blindsided. He went to Reddit and was asking questions about it. And every response to him was like, dude, he said, I'd like to try and work this out, and maybe I'm just overreacting. My friends think I need to cut my losses and move on. His friends who are not emotionally involved, who did not give away all their control to somebody, who are sane, said, cut your losses and go. But he's like, maybe I'm overreacting. I've given her too much control of my life. I'm not ready to cut myself out of my own life. Needless to say, somebody says, your friends are right. Cancel the wedding. Tell everyone why. Cut your losses and move on. Breakups and canceling weddings are not fun to deal with. Divorce and sharing child custody is much worse. Somebody else says, free passes are like potato chips. You can never have just one. Ending the relationship before the wedding may be inconvenient, but it'll be a better way than getting a divorce in the future. Somebody else said, end it and walk away. She ended any and all trust in the relationship. No trust, no relationship. See, but he kept saying, how do I save this? How do I save this? How do I save this? Tom Brady says, I wish I did more. I wish I did more. These are men without paths, without goals, without destinations, without direction. They're rudderless. They're thrusterless, lost in life. You can date. You can do your thing. You can have fun. You might even have long-term relationships, but you can't get married. Or this is why I say you can't get married, because you lose too much control of your life. And once that happens, you end up like the judge. If Tom can't do it, can you? If women are like this and they demand to have all this control and all this direction over your life, and then time and time again they leave you, leaving you rudderless and lost and miserable and hopeless, and do they deserve it? Do women not understand? This is why men are saying, you're recreational use only. I don't trust you enough to give you any control over my life. I don't trust you enough to marry you. I don't trust enough to pair up with you for the rest of our lives. And it's not you directly, person I'm talking to right now. It's society. It's relationships. It's the institution of marriage. It's women as a whole. I think we've all been down Tom's road. And I think this is why we jokingly say all roads lead to men going their own way. It's not that a guy going his own way is this toxic brand of asshole dude that hates women. I think really it almost should be rebranded to being masculine again, to being a man again. Men don't ask wives for permission. Now, they don't go out and do awful things, right? My father never asked my mother for permission. My grandfather never asked my grandmother for permission. But controversially, my mother didn't ask my father for permission. And my grandmother didn't ask my not really. My grandmother didn't ask my grandfather. No one asked permission. Do you know why? Because they were sane and reasonable people that didn't do anything crazy. So there doesn't have to be permission. That's part of being masculine is I'm not going to ask you for permission to go hang out with my friends. I'm going to tell you, do you need anything from me before I hang out with my friends? It's this framing of the world. That's really what going your own way is all about, I think. And I'm actually kind of having this revelation while I talk to you on the topic. Sometimes talking things through helps you work through something. But yet when I talk to myself when I'm out in public, people think I'm a crazy person. But sometimes talking with you guys brings something to mind. Maybe it's not about going your own way. Maybe it's not about blue pill, red pill, this trad con. Maybe it's just being masculine and deciding I'm going to lead my life the way I want to lead it. I will make small concessions for the loved ones that I bring into my life. But other than that, I'm just doing my thing. And we've labeled it going your own way, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily going your own way. I think we should just label it being a masculine man, being a strong man, being a capable man, being a determined man, knowing where you're going, knowing what you want, and going for it, and not letting anything get in your way. And if you want to come along for the ride, great. And if you don't, you don't. Maybe that's as simple as it is. And yeah, there's some red pill rage and some anger when you're going through what Tom's going through here after you get ditched. But maybe in reality that doesn't matter. Maybe it's just about being a man, not giving up yourself or so much of yourself for somebody else. And because women that say I want an emotional, lovey-feely, they do not stay with those men. Why do they go with the jerks, the guys that don't call back, the guys that are focused on money or the gym or whatever? Why do they keep going for them? Because those men have a direction. And those women want to be a part of that direction. And if a woman can veer a man off his direction, I think she looks at him as weak. And I think she looks at him as a loser. Because she's like, well, if I can pull him off his path, he's not very dedicated to it. What are the odds something else is going to pull him off his path? I'm not comfortable with this. I don't trust him. I don't trust his judgment. Where the guys that say, look, I'm doing me. You want to come along? Great. And then when she says, can we do? No, I don't want to do that. And holding your ground. Those guys seem to be doing very well in relationships. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.